Hey everybody, welcome to EV193 Winery Operations Management Online. What are we going to do? What, when, and how? This is sort of just a syllabus review that we normally do in the beginning of class, but welcome to the virtual world. So welcome to that virtual world. It's meeting time. Where am I? It's going to be a crazy quarter. I am the only person who has permission to get in the winery. So that means I have to manage all the wines. I have to pack all the shipping orders, and I've got to build your wine kits in 12 hours a week, which is what I'm allotted. So it's going to be fun. Also trying to juggle EV205 and now 193. So this is all new to me. It's going to be a freight train ride. I welcome the challenge. I think there's a lot of things we're going to do better. I think we're going to learn a lot. I think I'm going to learn a lot. I think you're going to learn a lot. And most importantly, this particular mode of instruction doesn't limit me to how much I can put out. So the reality is all the lectures and all of the talks, I'm going to break up into pretty short sections, and I'm going to load them in a fairly spectacular manner. I'm trying to give you as much as I can. I'm not sure when they're going to come up. Right now it's 8 o'clock at night, almost 9. And I'll probably be recording some at 3:34 in the morning when I wake up. But I want to make sure that I'm just uploading it as fast as I can. So if there's any lag, anything like that, hopefully I can keep them as cohesive as possible. So again, but most importantly for this class, stay on task. You have a lot of assignments to accomplish. If all you do is hand them in, you're going to kill this class. There's a lot of things to hand in. And then every Friday I'll pop up a quiz just to keep you engaged, keep you attached, things like that. But stay on those tasks. So every Friday you've got an assignment due, and every Friday there's going to be a quiz that pops up. So here are your assignments. You've got a winery business plan outline. Come up with an idea in your groups. They're posted. There's been a little bit of shuffling. Notice there's a couple people that have moved around a little bit because I didn't want to have too much weight in people that already have a background in this. But it's not significant, but make sure you come up with your business plan outline. Tell me what you're going to do. The next thing is week 2 is a SOP revision. Week 3 is economic modeling for your business plan. Week 4, design your winery. That's actually 4 and 5. Winery equipment design listing. So come up with all the equipment you're going to need. Go up, look it up, go look out, go find it. Wastewater treatment for your business. So if you're in the wine business, wastewater treatment is paramount of importance. And so you've got to figure out how to navigate those waters, pun totally intended. And the number 7, winery sustainability. How are you going to make sure your business is sustainable, both not only socially, ecologically, but also economically? How are you going to make sure all those things work out? And then your final project is a business plan. So this is incorporating all of the first assignments. And if all you do is kind of grab those, assemble them, and put them together, you'll end up with a really good business model. So my goal here with this is to make you do some business modeling so that at some point in your life, if you decide to pull the trigger on starting a business, then you'll be prepared for that. And so if you have some ideas percolating, things you might have wanted to do, might want to do, talk to your group and see if you guys can come together on something that'll be very functional for you. So week 1 is how do we do a business plan? I've got some lecture series out there. We've also got a whole bunch of PDFs of different research models out there. So go ahead and take a look at all that. And then at the end of the week, I want you guys and gals to shoot off a document to me. It doesn't have to be too long, 1-2 pages, about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. What's your dream? So come up with a dream and then drill down into it and see if that's a really good idea as time moves on. The next week is Winery Regulations, which is insane, but I think that it's important for us to look at our business and understand that, if we have some appropriate regulations in place, sometimes you do a little bit better job. And so one of the things I want to look at is Food Safety Management Act, which is kind of an extension of the FDA, and then also incorporating standard operating procedures into your winery. So that way you can maintain not only a safe workplace, but you're going to provide wines that are healthy and aren't going to hurt anybody. And so we're going to have you pick an SOP and revise it. I think I've got some suggested for you in your group list. Then we're going to move on to kind of entrepreneurship. We're going to look a bit at college sellers. We're going to look at financials. And then I want you to build an economic model of your business plan. I have a whole bunch of PDFs in place. Feel free to reach out to me with some ideas. But really, the idea is, how much is it going to cost if you do your business? How much are you going to make? And then what's the net? If there isn't some positive cash flow, then there's kind of no reason to do the business. But try and figure out a way to make your dream, your business, a possible reality. Because if there's no reason to do it, then why would you even bother? So make sure that when you're starting your business plan ideas, that you have something that could probably become sustainable in the economic arena. Then we're going to move into winery design. And so one of the things we want to talk about is designing wineries. I have a lot of background in this, and I'm going to upload all these documents on it and different ways to approach it. But the assignment for this week, and it's actually week 4 and 5, building your business model. So hand in sketches, pictures. Come on, let your brains roll, man. Don't think you're bound by anything. I want you to hand in something, but my goal with this whole class isn't to be a slave driver. It's the opposite. I want you to dream. I want you to engage your brains. I want you to think about, what might be that hasn't been before. And how do you become a piece of reshaping the Washington wine landscape? And maybe not even the Washington wine landscape, maybe the wine landscape in general. So think about that. Well, then once you think about all the beautiful dreams you got to figure out what it's going to take to run it. So I want to go through winery equipment, talk about all the things that you need to be able to execute and run a winery. I'm going to talk about very specific winery needs. Depending on how your business is, you might need different things. So, but the idea is that you need to develop a needs list for your winery. So what are the things you're going to need? Just a list, just a dollar amount, and how much it's going to cost. That's it. Wastewater concerns. This is a big deal. Water is a limited resource. We need to make sure that we take care of it. And so this is something I've been really interested in for the past 10 years of my career. It was really neat when I came to Washington. I was talking about winery wastewater, and everybody looked like me like I had a hole in my head. Why would you even be talking about this? We got plenty of water. We just pump our water out in the field. And then that all changed. And so the Department of Ecology came up and said, hey, you know what? No more of that stuff. You guys got to do a better job. So what we're going to do is talk about what we need to do as a winery in this changing political landscape and environmental landscape to be able to do a good job and be a little bit more sustainable in respect to our wastewater. So your assignment that week is to research 3 different ways that whatever facility you decide to build can effectively treat their wastewater. No right answer. Just show me you did some work. Lastly, winery sustainability. The wine industry has done a great job of saying how sustainable it is. And it is fascinating to me that I sell a tremendous amount of bulk wine to a winery in Florida that talks about how they buy bulk wine to reduce their carbon footprint. I have absolutely no idea what that means, because how buying wine from all over the world to be shipped to Florida on trucks that burn fuel, and the wine's already been made out of vineyards that have tractors that go up and down the road so many times that burn fuel. And then during the fermentation process, last time I checked, carbon dioxide was released pretty much equally. I'm fascinated to hear how a bulk winery in Florida is reducing their carbon footprint by shipping wine from all over the place to Florida to be consumed by people that got there in airplanes. But that's just me. And so the idea here is how to be sustainable. And the thing is about that winery in Florida, as much as I'm making fun of it, they're probably very economically sustainable because they're probably drawing in a large amount of money to be functional Where many wineries who are out here in Eastern Washington, while they're doing a very nice job building a look, are they effectively being economically sustainable? And will they be able to pay their bills next month? And that's a question we have to ask. So not only are you being socially sustainable by employing good people, taking care of people, making sure they're able to pay their mortgage, that idea of the business that you run needs to rise all boats. Your business that you run needs to take care of people. Is it just that? Is there just economic sustainability? Is there social sustainability? And then can you do that all without costing the environment anything? Can you do that in a way that is non-destructive to our environment? And that is the good question. That's the challenge. This is one of the more complicated ones, but there's lots of documents to back it up, and I'm sure you'll come up with some good answers. And then weeks 9 and 10, really it's the end. So we're going to develop our winery business plan, and this is where I want you to work through it. I'm going to make myself available to talk to you. And the reality is this is week 9 and 10. And so week 9 and 10 are basically the same week. And how are we going to put all of it together? So your winery business plan, I'm going to talk about bulk wine. We'll do any virtual tours. I'm kind of hoping I can get some people on board to join in on this. And then anything I seem to have missed out on. I just want to make sure that it's all done. But those last 2 weeks, really fundamentally, I want you to work on your business plans and shoot me emails, shoot me texts, uh, and feel free to have conversations. But most importantly, I want you to work with your groups because we really need uh, social continuity. We need you to work together, and we need you to do your best to think about this postmodern winemaking landscape and what it's going to look like. And you are the minds of the next generation, and you have a responsibility to this industry to show us where we're going. And I think that just given this project, there might be some brilliant ideas that come forward and hopefully help us sustain this industry as we move on. But most importantly, take care of yourselves. If you guys are having problems, give me a call, give me a shout, give me an email. Take a deep breath, walk around the block. At least we can still go outside. I'm a slow texter. Feel free to shoot me one. But, on text, a lot of people text me. One of the problems with modern technology is they haven't invented caller ID for texts. It amazes me that 1990s technology, when, my grandma would call me, it would say who it was, that texting hasn't reached that point yet. You get texted and it just comes up with a number. And so I just get a number. It says you're from Indiana, and I don't know who you are. So, or Connecticut, and I know it's Stephen, which is nice. But nonetheless, just make sure I know who you are and leave your name. I'm really happy to talk. I prefer phone calls. I feel like I can get a lot more accomplished in a phone call than I can endless hours of texts or emails. So shoot me an email about setting a time to talk so I can block out that time so I'm not buried and we can connect. That's the best way. That way I can set out 30 minutes to talk to nothing but you. And as we move on, every Tuesday, there'll be a Zoom chat, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day, no matter what, 10 a.m., 12 p.m. every Tuesday. I'm going to open it up. There's a link in in Canvas, and click on it, join it. It's a great talk. I'll have to let you into the room, so if it'll air right away, it's fine. But click on it, and from 10 to 12 every day, every Tuesday, we will sit down and have a talk. And lastly, I miss y'all. This isn't a lot of fun for me, but I think we have an opportunity to learn a lot. I think you have an opportunity to engage in a different way. And I think you really have an opportunity, given your background, skill sets, and knowledge, to really look at how we're going to reshape this wine industry. And I think the wine industry needs some reshaping. I honestly do. I've thought that for a while. This isn't new. And I'm not the only one. It does need reshaping. And you are the next generation of people that are going to drive this industry. So sit down and think about when there are deep dysfunctions in any industry, that comes with great opportunities. It might be a little bit weird, but now is the time to do it. And as much as that sounds crazy, I think that's the case. So I'm kind of counting on you to do that. And take care. I miss you. Welcome to Winery Ops 2020. It's going to be a ride. I'm excited to be on it with you.